Welcome back. Across New York City, teachers work tirelessly to not only educate, but to uplift, empower, and inspire. One Bronx educator has done just that, earning national recognition for his extraordinary commitment to student success and educational equity. This year, he received the Flag Award for Teaching Excellence's Grand Prize, honoring his innovative, relationship driven work both inside and outside the classroom and around the globe. Joining us now is the social studies teacher, International Community High School, Alhassan Susso, and co president of the Flag Award for Teaching Excellence in Education, Laura Twersky. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So, to start things off, Laura, can you provide an overview of the Flag Award for Teaching Excellence? What is its mission?
Sure. Its mission is really just to recognize and celebrate incredible New York City public school educators.
Mhm.
This is our sixth year. So each year we recognize one grand prize winner per borough. So Mr. Suso is the Bronx grand prize winner this year. And those teachers receive $25,000 for their personal use and then another $10,000 for their schools. We also have a sixth prize that's just for an elementary school teacher, and that teacher can be from any borough. It just so happens this year that teacher is also from the Bronx, so we have two. But really, the main idea is to celebrate these incredible teachers who, as we know, teachers just often go unrecognized and underappreciated.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And Mr. Suso, congratulations on being the recipient this year. Tell us, when you first got the news, what was your initial reaction?
Again, thank you for having us. So I actually get the news in front of everybody. So Laura came in last week, Monday, at my school. And I'm so grateful that my family was able to attend along with colleagues, students, and former students to be part of the experience because, being recognized as an educator is not just a personal achievement. It's
Mhm.
a community effort. I am where I am today due to the contributions of everybody in this building and my family who day in and day out support me to be where I am.
Absolutely. Now tell me, what was your family, your colleagues, and your students' reaction to you winning the award?
I think it's just a deep sense of gratitude because these are kids that I spend so much time with, and we work together. We work so hard together and collaborate with colleagues on so many initiatives. Because the it was on Monday, and then that weekend, from that Wednesday to that Saturday, I was in Boston with about 50 students, along with five other colleagues who spend 4 days working intensely to help our students as they prepare for life after high school. So when you get such recognition, it's more of a community recognition rather than an individual. That is how I look at it. So it's a deep sense of gratitude for everybody.
Congratulations again. Now, Laura, can you tell us, how are the recipients of the award selected? And can you tell us about the nomination and evaluation process?
Sure. It's a pretty lengthy process where teachers get nominated in the fall and they cannot self-nominate. So someone has to nominate them. But it can be a colleague, it can be a principal, and we get many student nominations, which is really wonderful. And then they are notified and they have to fill out an application. And from all those applications, we choose roughly 35 semifinalists. And then we go into a deeper dive where they have interviews, we speak to their principals, they fill out another application. And then we have an independent jury made up of prominent education people, philanthropists in New York City, and they make the final decision.
That's amazing. So that means, Mr. Suso, you went through so many people who all agreed that you were uh, you. This was your award this year. This was for you. And so tell us, as an immigrant from Gambia, teaching newly arrived immigrant students, how does your personal experience shape your approach to education and relationship building?
Yeah, that's an excellent question because I became a teacher solely to teach recent immigrants to the U.S. And the reason for that is my first year in college, I had a family tragedy where my 19-year-old sister, passed away due to denial of a visa to get the medical care that she needed here. And 8 hours after her death, the grandmother who raised all of us also passed away. So losing two of the most dearest people to me gave me a sense of purpose in terms of what I wanted to do with my life. Because at that point, I was, pursuing, business as a career, and that's what I wanted to study to pursue business. But then after their death, I then, repurposed my mission and wanted to become an immigration lawyer. And then, long story short, after taking the LSAT and putting the application together, but while I was putting the application together, my pre-law advisor asked why I wanted to become a lawyer. So I explained to her my family situation, what happened, and she thought about it for a while and said, well, if that is your mission to empower young immigrants, I'm not sure law school is the place for you. It's like, well, why is that? So, well, think about it this way. By the time you defend those kids in the courtroom, one of two things would be happening. They would either be heading to jail or they might be in the process of getting deported. Why don't you think about doing something that will ensure they will never even have to see the courtroom? After thinking about what that would look like, education became the obvious choice. Because as Nelson Mandela said, education is the weapon that one can use to transform the world. And for the past 13 years, I'm so glad that each and every day I get a chance to set these kids up for a successful future.
That's amazing. Thank you for paying it forward. And now, one of your tasks or duties as a teacher is your Inspiring Teens Future program or the morning class. It has been a transformative program in helping increase graduation rates from 31% to over 84%. So, can you walk us through how this zero period started and what do your students gain from that class?
Yeah, so it started actually 10 years ago now. And it started as a result of me discovering during my second year of being in the 12th grade that only 28% of our students would be going to college that year. And out of that, 50% would drop out within a year based on our school's history. So I then spoke with our principal, said, well, what are we going to do about this? Because I became a teacher, as I said earlier, to ensure that young immigrants live a life in this country that my baby sister did not have. So those numbers were unacceptable to me. So after we discussed what the options would be, what I decided to do was to create something that will ensure whether they end up going to college or not, they have a path forward. So then I created this program called the Morning Class or Inspiring Teens Future, which is built on five essential elements. First is mindset and emotional mastery, and then vision and goals for the future, developing interpersonal communication skills, leadership, and financial management. Why those four components? Because if you have the right attitude and mindset, very likely you'll be successful in life. And without vision and goals, people perish. So it's important for kids to have a vision for where they want to go in their lives, and then develop the skills of communication and leadership, and finally understand the importance of financial literacy. And over the past 10 years of doing that program, 100% of all the kids in that program have graduated from high school. And more important than that, though, they have gone on to, build businesses. For example, one of my students from the class of 2019, when I took them to a seminar in Boston on, it's called the Millionaire Mind Experience. We spent 4 days there. And at the end of that seminar, he spoke with the facilitator of that seminar, who ended up giving us time to speak to the students because they were very impressed with seeing 50 students traveling all the way from New York to Boston to learn about financial education. And as a result, he made a goal that he is going to become a millionaire. Now, last year, it took he sent me a text and said, hey, mister, it took me 5 years, but I finally made it. Because what's important is that he has, 4 grocery stores in New York City today and and owns an extra 2 in Chicago. But that's a result of what he has learned from that seminar. And that's just one of many stories from the morning class program. And the most impactful part of it is that our students are notorious for coming to school late. So this was one of the challenges when I presented the idea to my principal, that it was going to be a before school program. And he said, well, you know, our kids are notorious for coming to school an hour late. What makes you think they're gonna come in early? Said, I don't know, but I know one thing for sure. We all spend time where we see value. If these kids see value in this program, I am sure they will show up. And 10 years later, every year, about 70% of our graduating seniors enroll in the program. And if you come to our school, the days of the morning class, the kids are in the building before teachers. And that's a testament of the impact of the program.
Absolutely, that's amazing, Mr. Susso. I want to congratulate you once again, and Laura, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
For more information, you can visit the website at flagaward.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.